Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is Dell's new Latitude 740 2-in-1, which the company says is its smallest 2-in-1 with a 14-inch display, and it's designed for business customers. It's got an aluminum chassis, Dell's new dual torque hinge that sort of is easy to open and then sort of gets stiff here so that it stays in place without wobbling too much. And it does have a convertible design, so I'm going to put down the camera here and show you that the hinge opens all the way. And you can fold it back and use it in tent mode, stand mode, or as a tablet. As I mentioned, it has a 14-inch display, but it has a fairly small hinge. And let's see if we can brighten that screen just a little bit. Has a fairly low-hanging hinge and slim bezels around the sides, so that it has a relatively compact design. All told, the laptop is about 3 pounds, and it's fairly thin as well, so it's relatively easy to hold. But it has many of the ports that you would expect on a business class device. So in addition to having USB Type-C and Thunderbolt ports, you've got full-size HDMI, full-size USB, smart card reader, a headset jack, full-size USB again, and a micro SD card slot. Below that, there's an optional slot for 4G LTE or a SIM card of some sort. The keyboard has a sort of dropped area over here for the arrow keys, which makes it a little bit easier to have room for decent spacing on them. And then, of course, we've got your sort of usual function keys. Everything's backlit, and there's a nice wide touch area down here. Under the hood, the RAM is soldered. It's LPDDR3 storage, or memory, and there's no way to upgrade that, so what you get out of the box is what you're going to be stuck with. But the SSD is upgradable. It's a half-height M2 card. There's also an M2 card that is occupied by the Wi-Fi card, and an M2 slot that is, actually, I'm not sure if it's an M2, but there's a separate slot that is for the optional 4G or cellular connectivity. So overall, it looks almost like a slim consumer-oriented notebook, and the idea, I think, is that Dell is really sort of going for making a computer that would appeal to consumers who are used to sort of thin, light, versatile machines like these sorts of 2-in-1s, but would be able to get the business features that they need in terms of the software, in terms of biometric security. It does have a fingerprint sensor, I believe, and it's got a proximity sensor here, as well as Windows Hello, infrared camera support. It's got a dual array microphone, and overall, it's a pretty nice looking business class machine. It also supports relatively fast charging. You can get about a 35% charge in 20 minutes or an 80% charge in 60 minutes. And it has a large battery. It has a 78 watt-hour battery, which is takes up a lot of space on the inside, actually. And you can find some pictures at liliputing.com of what that looks like under the hood. So that's the Dell Latitude 740 2-in-1 being announced at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January of 2019. Should be available soon. You can find more details at liliputing.com and at dell.com.